In this video, I want to talk about all the different ways that you can view Zoom on your computer depending on what you are doing. So what you see here is the gallery view. This is probably the most typical view that we see in Zoom. And depending on how many participants are in the meeting, this may be a grid of 4x4 or a lot of different configurations. So if you want to switch so that you are seeing the speaker in the biggest view, you can click up here where it says speaker view, and you will get something more like this. So in this view, participant 2 is the one who's actually talking. You can see them nice and big, and all the other participants are up here. If you want to get back to the gallery view we saw earlier, you just click on gallery view. And there it is again. So next, I want to talk about pinning videos. There are some times when you don't necessarily want just the speaker to be the biggest video. Maybe it's the teacher or a student who's presenting, but other people might be commenting. You want one person to be always the biggest view. So in that case, you can click the three dots next to their name, and I will say their camera has to be on. This will not be an option for these two because their cameras aren't on. But if you click the three dots next to their name, you can click pin video. And then whether or not they are the speaker, their view will always be the biggest one. That's not a very good view, but you can see that if I want to change that, I can quickly unpin the video right here, and then it'll go back to our gallery view. Like this. All right. Another thing I wanted to point out is that I am not in full screen right now. If I wanted to go to full screen Zoom, I could click this little button up here and it would fill up my entire screen. And then I could also go up there to get out of full screen. And the reason I can tell I'm not in full screen is because I can see my taskbar down here that shows my other applications. So let's say I wanted to click on here on Chrome to go to my Google Drive. So I do that. Here's my Google Drive. But now, how do I get back to Zoom? So what you would need to do is click on the Zoom application or the icon. And when you do that, it'll bring up this little box here, just overlaid on top of whatever other screen you're looking at. If you click this green arrow, it'll bring you back to full screen Zoom. This is also a nice way if you quickly need to unmute yourself or mute or unmute as you're doing work over here. You could just do it right here. But if you click the green arrow, this will bring you back to the big Zoom screen. So again, if you are not full screen, you'll be able to see all these different apps that you can switch back and forth between. Next, I want to talk about if someone is screen sharing. So depending on how you have configured Zoom, the gallery of all the different people might be over here, it might be on top, but typically you can use this little bar, you can kind of barely see it right there, to slide this back and forth to adjust how big the view of the people is versus the view of what is being shared on the screen. So just keep that in mind. You can see here that this is a view of a host who is sharing their screen. And when you are sharing your screen, sometimes it is difficult. You can't easily see the participants. This is not true on all devices, but on some devices you'll have these, and again, this is just when you're sharing your screen, you'll have these little icons here. So right now you can see the kind of the double bar is highlighted, indicating that it's showing multiple participants. And if you had more than 4, sometimes you have to kind of enlarge this box to see more of them. If you click this one in the middle, you will just see the speaker. So on top of whatever screen you're sharing, you'll just see the speaker. And if you click that little line, all you will see is just this bar. So this is kind of nice if you find that this view is blocking some of what you want to talk about, you can just minimize down to this little line, and then it takes up a lot less of your screen that you're sharing. Now, in any case, your participants don't see this at all. All they see is your screen. But for you, again, if this is blocking something you want to be looking at, you can make it really small. And I think that is all that I wanted to share about Zoom views.